Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is hautemesstom, and I completed a 6-month no-buy. If you are new here, my channel is all about loving our collections as they currently are, being critical of new makeup releases, and also being critical of things that we may potentially bring into our collection because sometimes we make mistakes and it's hard to admit that when we purchase things. That kind of content sounds good to you. I would love to have you subscribe, and if you want to hear how my no-buy went, keep watching. Hi, we did it. 6 months, a 6-month no-buy. So my no-buy started on July 1st of 2021 and ended on December 31st, 2021 at like 11:59 p.m. I said Happy New Year and then I could buy whatever I wanted. If you're a subscriber or if you've seen my previous video, you'll know that I'm on a beauty budget this year. If you want to see that, I will link that in the description box below. I'll do that just for you. I think it'd be important to reflect on why I went on a 6-month no-buy. Now, I haven't gone back and like watched my original no-buy introduction video to remember what I said. So I remember talking a lot about like consumerism and combating that and being like a victim of consumerism in a way that like was affecting me negatively. I think I really started seeing it with like ColourPop and Makeup Revolution, and I was just like, why are we releasing so much makeup? And I also had realized that I have a enormous, beautiful makeup collection that I don't even know. And I don't know that well. And it did kind of evolve and then turn into its own project by the end of the year, where I did trying to wear all of my makeup in 31 days, which was like a challenge I did for December, what I called Mess. It was like a fun thing that I did. And if you're interested in that, that's also linked down below. I promise I'm not usually always about like linking all of things down below, but there's a lot of context that evolved over time as to like how the no-buy evolved and like what it was and like why I was doing it. So I want to let you know if that's something that you are interested in seeing, that it's there. I also like kind of was a victim of like purchasing just to buy things and get that rush of serotonin, and then like have the rush of watching the package come and then like opening the package up and then putting it on my face once and then kind of being disinterested in a product. And beyond that, I used to work at Sephora, so I received a lot of gratis. And so I just had like this collection that was bigger than anyone could ever want. And I had also been consuming content that was being very conscious of consumerism and what they were bringing into the collection. Hannah Louise Poston was like a big inspiration. Hannah did a whole no-buy year, and then her journey has evolved as she has been trying to find out what healing is from the way she was using shopping. So that was like an inspiration too. I kept buying beauty items, but I don't feel like I was like in love with beauty anymore. And it's like, well, these items that I have in my collection were things that I bought when I was like in love with beauty. And it also was an attempt to get over the idea of that makeup has like a short shelf life for relevancy on the internet and the relevancy in my life. But if you're new here, I'm like more, I lean towards like luxury whenever I do make beauty purchases. So I also was like a Pat McGrath Mothership collector. So then I had all of these Mothership palettes that I paid $125 on, and use them once, twice, maybe 4 times. Unless I really liked the palette, then I used it more. And so I wanted to go on a journey to figure out, well, what is important to me, and just like kind of reset and take a look at the beauty community from the outside. My no-buy was makeup only. It wasn't including skincare, and it wasn't including anything else, because I know some people include like fragrance and nail polish, but I didn't feel like I had spending problems in those areas. Like, I don't buy a lot of clothes, so I did not include clothing in there, and I don't buy like housewares. So my no-buy was exclusively to makeup. So if you are interested in someone who has done like a literal no-buy of anything, then you're gonna have to seek out another content creator, because mine was like a very specific place that my money was going and leaving very quickly. Reflecting on the overall journey, the first month was pretty easy for me actually, because I was going to a friend's birthday at the beginning of September, and I spent almost all of July and August, instead of browsing websites and browsing other things like leaning into beauty. I was looking for this party I went to, like we had a dress code, we had to wear like a specific color palette. So I was like investing a lot of the time that I would have been browsing beauty and thinking about beauty, trying to find this perfect outfit for me. And I did eventually find it, and I looked really cute. Maybe I'll pop a picture up here. You can say hello to me from 4 months ago. The hair is getting better. The hair is getting better. Don't It's getting better, and that's all I need to hear. You like it looked good. Tell me my hair looks good now. Don't worry about their hair. Worry about this hair's better. Okay? And I know that. So that was very helpful. So what I had learned is that when I had a distraction, things were much easier to avoid hyper focusing on beauty. But as a beauty content creator and an effort to stay relevant, I also had to know about the new releases. So instead of talking about new releases, there's I think almost every creator has some series where they talk about new makeup releases, and they call them a number of things. But I shifted my content to be anti-haul only. My anti-hauls did work kind of just like a new makeup release, but with the understanding, you coming into it knowing that I was not going to purchase any of those things like in real time. If I did, I might buy them later. And I did end up buying something that I anti-hauled during my no buy, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. While I was browsing, Trend Mood and Makeup Release Radar and Beauty News on those accounts on Instagram, I knew damn well, as I was like saving things and screenshotting things to share and talk about with everyone, that these were not things I was going to buy. And so I wanted to be critical of them. Now, being critical of makeup does not mean that I inherently think that everything that comes out is bad. But when I say I'm being critical, I'm trying to see things from all sides. I try to look at beauty at an angle, and like this is something I learned during my no buy, is like looking at beauty from an angle where it's like that thing is very beautiful and that thing can serve purpose A, B, and C. But that is also, those A, B, and C are not things that I'm looking for. But if you are someone who is looking for A, B, and C, I could see this being a quality, beautiful purchase. So it was like anti-hauling, but also recognizing things that I liked and appreciated about them. It was like I was talking myself out of everything, but not, because I find that anti-hauls typically inherently have more of like a negative, sassy undertone. And of course there were items that came out that I was like, oh hell no, not this. But there was like reasons for that, instead of just going through and only saying negative things about each thing. Now sometimes I didn't have nice things to say. I'm just saying that my anti-hauls took on this like new life, and we will be talking about new releases in the new year. Just stay tuned for that. It's coming. I can't wait. I saw a release today get announced today, and I was like, can't wait to talk about that. Can't wait to talk about that. I think it's coming back next week. And then as time went on, it kind of got harder and harder. I would say that Black Friday was like a bit of a tough stretch of time. There was like a lot of sales going on, and it was like you could not like dodge. You couldn't dodge the things. And I think the other thing that happened during this Black Friday is that I am very interested in trying a lot more beauty that is like indie beauty. And a lot of indie beauty brands were like really pushing some sales. And I was like, oh no, like this would be like a great opportunity to try them. And it's just like, I couldn't. And it was like hard, but I got through that. And then all of December, I found that when I had a project that I was busy and I couldn't even focus on wanting makeup. If you are new here, hi, welcome again. So the month of December, I did like the YouTuber thing where you post every day, even though I'm a small creator and I don't get AdSense. But I was like, let's see if I can do this as a project, as a thing. So instead of like trying to come up with like different content for every day of 31 days, which is like, that's a lot. And people who do that, like obviously you should throw those people a tip, give them some money. Because if you're having a different concept. So what I thought would be smart for me was to come up with a project that was what I posted every day, was that project. And so the project I did was what I noticed going into December was that I still, even in that 6-month period, didn't get to know my collection as well as I wanted, because I'm not an everyday makeup wearer. I wear makeup for YouTube. I wear makeup to review it, but I also wanted to, because I don't wear makeup that often, I wasn't really like getting to know my collection any better. So what I tried to do is use every piece of makeup that I own within that 31 days and cycle through it and like not repeat anything and just like wear makeup 31 days in a row. Now, that was very fun. There's a retrospective coming on that. We'll talk about my thoughts and feelings on that in another video. It's coming up. But if you were interested in seeing that playlist in chronological order, that playlist is down below. Go ahead and check that out. Or wait for Saturday's video and you can see like the real long retrospective that is coming. It's gonna be a doozy. Rolling back, did I succeed? For the most part, did I actually buy makeup? The long and short of it is no, but let's discuss each thing. I have them in front of me. So during Labor Day, I mentioned this in another video, but I get a lot of gift cards through work as like, if you're doing good work, as like kind of like a bonus situation, but like, oh, we appreciate your hard work. Here is a gift card. So I had quite a few big gift cards built up. And this is the Natasha Denona Coral palette. And this was half off. So instead of being $48, it was $24. I had a gift card. I bought this with my gift card. Now, in my original video, I did not make a rule about gift cards because I wasn't really thinking about it. And so when I bought this, if you watched my first month check-in or whatever month check-in where I pull this up and I'm like very sad with it, my guilt was that this purchase was still under the habits of old me, right? The me before the no buy, the habits that I was trying to break. I bought this because it was $24. I didn't buy this because the coral palette was something that I couldn't live without and didn't want to live without and all A, B, and C thing. I bought it because it was $24 and I had a gift card. Now, if something went on sale and I had gift cards for it and it was something that I had been pining over for a very long time, I don't think I would have felt guilty about it. This like really kind of hurt me at first, and I used it a couple times and then I felt guilty when using it because I was like associating like using this product with the guilt of buying it because. However, if you watched my project, I now really love this palette and I'm really glad I have it in my collection, but I would not have, like now, January me, I wouldn't have bought this at $24 with a gift card or without a gift card because this was never crossed my radar as a purchase that I wanted to make. This wasn't technically a fail. I didn't really have rules about gift cards and how to use them, but now I know my thoughts and feelings on using gift cards and how I want to use gift cards in the future with my budget. So I am budgeting this year, and I think I already said I linked that down below, but if you want to see how I'm budgeting this year, go ahead and check that video out. While upsetting in real time, retrospectively, now that I have used this palette a number of times and have lost the guilt I associated with this purchase, I really like this palette. I'm okay with having it, but it was a bummer in real time. So let this be a message to you if you are on a no buy. If you slip up, but you stay on track for the most part, I think that's okay. I think that's okay. I don't think that considers my no buy a fail, but in the moment I did. When I bought it, I did. Don't let yourself slip up too hard, but if like a moment like this happened, I was going to do it. I was going to go all Kelly Clarkson on you, and I'm sparing you, and I'm sparing me. I'm sparing us from me singing Kelly Clarkson, but I wanted to, because a moment like this. But don't let that scar your no-buy experience if like you have one little slip up throughout your time on your no-buy. Now let's talk about another thing I bought on my no-buy. So Natasha Denona discontinued the gold palette, and I'm going to keep it open and hold it this way because it'll blind you less because it's very shiny. So this is a palette unlike the coral palette. The gold palette was something that I always saw in my collection. I thought I had more time, but Miss Natasha Denona said, you had more time to buy this palette, and it was devastating. And I had heard that it was getting put back in Sephora at like random waves. Like, I don't know if they were finding stock in random stores and random warehouses. I don't really know what happened. But by the will of whatever higher being there is, I put my email in the out of stock thing on Sephora, got an email that was back in stock, and I bought this. I knew I wanted this palette before, like, I knew that it was something I always envisioned in my collection. So when this palette came into my life, it couldn't have been at a worse time. It was Hannah Louise Poston had just shouted me out on her channel, and Hannah Louise Poston, as I mentioned earlier, did like a no buy year and like did it very successfully, like had no slip ups the whole year, and like obviously had her highs and lows, but like I feel like I didn't take it as seriously, but I was taking it seriously, if you know what I mean. To me, buying this palette, because it was something I had always envisioned in my collection, and I was no longer going to have the opportunity to bring it into my collection at a time where I wasn't making a promise to myself that I wasn't purchasing things, it was okay for me to buy this because I wasn't going to have the opportunity again. I didn't use a credit card to buy it. I bought it with cash. Like I bought it, I had the money to buy it. I had the means to buy it. Unlike the coral palette, this was something that was like a little more thought out, a little more well thought out. It was part of my vision. This was like an extenuating circumstance. If I had bought this and it wasn't discontinued, I would be very disappointed in myself. But because I bought this, because this was being discontinued, that's what makes it the exception to the no buy rule. Like, that's why I don't feel intense and immense guilt about it. However, I remember when I showed this on my channel for the first time, I did a no buy check-in and I was like, I failed, and it was like blurred out and with a question mark on it. I was like being very drama. And I was like so nervous to talk about it on my channel because I had just doubled in subscribership based on like Hannah's recommendation of me. It was like, all these people came to my channel because they know I'm doing a no buy and they're doing this. But like, everyone was very lovely and everyone heard me out, and we all agreed that this was like, because it was something that I had always envisioned and always wanted to be in my collection, it was a lot different and it was being discontinued. So there was just like so many circumstances that, like, in my opinion, made this okay for me to buy during my no buy experience. And like, would I have been able to live without it? Absolutely. I absolutely would. Like, in the grand scheme, capitalism wins again with me purchasing this. However, I'm not going to beat myself up about it because it didn't spiral me. Like, I did not buy this and say, now I can buy whatever I want because I already broke the no buy. No, this was like something that I thought about for as long as I could think about it. I had to make a snapshot decision to like buy it whenever I was available to buy it. But it was something that I thought while I was waiting for it to come back in stock, I was like really talking to myself regularly, being like, is this okay? And thinking it through. So it wasn't not thought out. This wasn't bought willy-nilly. There was a reason that it had to be bought when it was bought. I did make one more purchase during my no buy, but this purchase was actually built into the no buy rules. I went on a trip to see an old friend in Chicago, and I told myself and whoever was watching at the time that I was going to allow myself to buy a beauty item should I see it being something that I wanted to purchase during this trip, as like something that I could associate with the trip. I love doing that. I love having like things associated with the trip. So I did buy the Gucci Palette Beauté Dayou. And I actually got a really good deal on this. I had a bunch of gift cards saved up from work. And so I had enough to cover half of it, and then I paid for the other half out of pocket. And so this is just my little like trinket reminder that I like from my Chicago trip. And it turned out to be a very good purchase, but because I built this into my, like, I don't feel any kind of way about this. Like, it was like part of my no buy experience was like, I'm gonna be able to buy one beauty item in this 6 months and it's gonna be this. Now, did I buy some more beauty items? Yes, I did. But like, whenever my vision back in June when I was thinking this up, this was like part of the vision. Do you know what? I didn't know it was gonna be this, but like, there was something was gonna be in my hands right now while I was talking to you, beauty wise. I found the no buy to be very helpful for me to like as a reset. I think if I was deeper in, I think I had already kind of learned my lesson about spending too much on beauty. I just wasn't putting into practice those thoughts and feelings I was having because it's all kind of connected. Like, after I left, while I was working at Sephora, I wasn't buying as much beauty. And then I left Sephora and I bought a bunch of beauty because I was like excited about it again. And then I caught really quickly that I was like back in the cycle from like back in 2016. Like that, I was part of that boom, right? Like the modern Renaissance makeup boom. Like I was around, that was like when I got into makeup. I felt myself like resorting back to that. And I just knew I needed like a little bit of a palette cleanser. And I felt a whole year was maybe too long, and I felt like 3 months was like maybe too short for me. So 6 months felt like the Goldilocks, just right number of months for me. And I do feel like it was just kind of like a reset. Coming back into purchasing, again, being able to purchase, and I have already purchased some things. To be full disclosure, I bought them on January 1st, but these were things that I was thinking about all through December. I learned to make lists of things that I was interested in and circle back and revisit them to see if I still want them, in a future time. Am I still as excited about them? I even did that. I did a video about that before my no buy was up. Like these are all the things that I've been interested in the last 6 months. Am I still interested in them going into 2022? And we cut down quite a few things off that list. And so, yeah, I am kind of in a place where I feel like I have a healthier relationship with beauty. For example, today, whenever I was picking out makeup to put on, I picked out some things that would have just stayed in my drawer for months and months unused. And I did that on purpose because I was like, oh, I like these things. That's why they made it through that project. That's why they made it through my no buy. It's still around because it's something that I see value in, and I don't need to buy another thing. Remembering that I have so many beautiful things in my collection and reminding myself of that is definitely going to help me from temptation in the future. So when I think about the things that I already purchased for this month, like what I already purchased post no buy, they were things that I learned that I had a gap in my collection. Because when I was doing my makeup with what I had, I was like, oh, I don't have a thing for this or a thing for that. I have lipstick. I have gaps in my lipstick collection. I don't have that many cool toned lipsticks. And so I'd be doing these really intense cool toned looks on my face. And I was like, I don't have a lot of my lips lean warm. So I bought a couple lipsticks with a cool lean to them, and I'm excited about trying those, but they also are filling a space, but also things that I want to use, and also formulas I haven't tried. I wish I came off with something a little bit more profound than I did, but my no buy was very personalized to me. It was more about breaking habits more than discovering who I am, I guess. And I don't want to dismiss people who do no buys. And it's a very enriching life moment for them whenever it's complete. And I don't think I have as complicated thoughts about now purchasing, because I know some people come off their no buy and their relationship with shopping, they are very unsure of it, and that makes a lot of sense. But I don't really feel that way. I might have to eat these words later, but I'm feeling very confident with what I'm doing now. My makeup collection, I'm feeling very confident in being able to see, and I'll know it when I see it. If it's a new makeup release, I'll know that it's for me, and I will know that it's a better purchase and it's not something I'm buying willy-nilly. I have learned, and I feel like I have broken that habit. For example, whenever I could buy things January 1st, there was a brand that was recommended to me to try, and I was perusing their website. And I was like, I'm going to review as much as I can from this brand. I know that I'm doing a budget this year. I know that I have a budget that I would like to stay within, and I don't want to break that my first month. That would be not fun. And this brand also carries brushes, and I was like, I can buy some brushes, because brushes are some things I would like to explore this year as far as buying new brushes. Not an overhaul, but brushes are on the list to try this year. I built a cart, and it was not the most expensive cart I ever built. This brand is not the most expensive. It's also a Canadian-based brand, and so I was like, I'm gonna have 20% off, because Canadian is the money difference. I was shopping in CAD instead of USD, so I was like, it's gonna be a little bit less than what I put in my cart. And so I put two things in my cart that I was like, and I was like, I want to buy them to review them for the thing. And I did take them out of my cart because they were not things that I know I'm not going to use them beyond reviewing them. It was one of them was a potted shadow. I'm not a potted eyeshadow person. I have one. It's one of the Tarte chrome paints, and I like it, but do I use it a lot? No, because that's just not what I'm reaching for when I do my makeup. Now, can I train myself to use things like that more? Yes, but I don't want to bring anything in until I'm like using that chrome paint at a rate that I feel like, okay, like this is something that I definitely use enough. And so I took that out of my cart, and they sold a brush that was specifically for their formula of this cream pot shadow. And I was like, well, I don't need this because I'm not going to use it. So I'm already sussing things out. Like, and that I thought about that for, well, I understand that it's only January 3rd, but I on January 1st, I had all of these things in my cart from that website. And then by today, I had like cut that in half, and I'm only purchasing things that, should I like the formula and want to keep them, are things that I will be able to regularly use in my makeup. So I already feel the side effects of it. And if you do a no buy on YouTube and you have any size of an audience, they're gonna clock you. So I respect that. Like, I know that there are people, like, if I misstep and if it doesn't come off like I feel like I've made a misstep, I think someone in my comment section is gonna remind me. So doing it publicly also helps. I'm not saying that everyone needs to make a YouTube channel when they do a no buy. Like, obviously you can make it a very deeply personal situation for yourself. But I'm just telling you, should you have someone keeping you accountable, that's very helpful. So I don't know that I want to offer you tips and tricks for a no buy, because my no buy wasn't perfect. Your no buy, should you decide to go on one, is it going to be perfect? I think it's something that you have to like figure out yourself. I feel like if you make rules, try to stick to them and try to make as many rules as you can for as many situations as you can, so that if you don't have a rule for that and you then do it and then you feel bad about it, like, having a nice set of rules is probably the best advice I could give you. But beyond that, it's just a journey that you're going to have to commit yourself to and figure it out. And I'm not saying that to be rude. It's just like you're either doing it or you're not doing it. Like I said, basically, if I had projects that I was doing, or if I was doing something else, if I was distracted from it, I didn't even know that I really was on a no buy. I don't think that's the perfect summation of my no buy, but my no buy wasn't perfect, so neither is my summary. And I'm just going to leave it at that. If you had fun watching today's video, I would love to have you subscribe to my channel. There's a lot of content being very conscious about my makeup collection to come. So, in talking about new releases and being critical of them, it's a lot of fun. I would love to have you stick around, and I would really appreciate if you like this video. I'm on Patreon as well if you want to support me there. That's all linked down below. Instagram, all of that, other projects that I do, all down below. If you were interested in what I'm wearing on my face, that's also linked down below. Okay, everyone, Saturday. It's Thursday. Saturday is going to be the retrospective, mama. It's going to be a doozy. I'm already editing things, but I haven't even filmed everything. That should tell you that it's going to be a heater. I appreciate you all so much for watching. And remember to follow your haute, and you will find me. Thank you again for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, friends.